Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Iris Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Yeti. Joining me today, we have Train, Navino, Delphi, and Nagi. We are diving into the very last week of competition this season, and that is our grand finals week. 72 teams, 16 weeks, down to 6 finalists who have been scrimming like crazy while the rest of us have been having fun and playing different games. Once again, I'm Mr. Yeti. We are excited to bring you this preview of our finals this season here, Season 7 in Tranquility. What a fantastic season it has been. And we are going to dive right into it because we do have a loaded podcast for you today. And the first thing we're going to talk about is the Harmony tier. Now, before we get into our grand finals preview, there is one bit of business we have to attend to, and that is our All-Star Draft. Now, for those of you who may or may not know this, we did record these. Now, me, being the person to handle said recordings, may or may not have decided to forget to change his mic source to the correct microphone. So, therefore, you have a situation where my mic source didn't work while the others did. So, what you're going to end up getting here isn't the actual product so much as them talking and me dubbing over what I'm saying to the best of my abilities. If you've ever seen a Godzilla movie, it's going to be about that bad.
Oh, man.
And I'm doing it live.
Good.
Or that good. I don't know. Which one? I guess you're just going to have to wait and see. I'm glad you're excited for this because I'm not. But nonetheless, we're going to get into your first All-Star Draft before we hop in. As a reminder, we have our giveaways today, $100 Amazon gift card and a t-shirt. Be sure to get your giveaway entries in. I see a lot of you are already doing that. Again, $100 gift card and a shirt. We will be doing this giveaway again next week. By the way, next week as well is our Season 8 info drop. I know a lot of you have been waiting for that. Season 8 info drop. We'll have Daddy Cav be here. So make sure to tune in. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this. Let's get this dream started here. Everybody enjoy. So sorry in advance. And welcome to the Harmony Tier All-Star Draft. I'm Mr. Yeti. Joining me tonight, representing the Orem side, is Train, and it looks like, for some reason, Apathy decided not to show up tonight. I'm not sure why, but for some reason, he just didn't come, so I guess I'll be drafting his team, I guess.
Hello? Hello?
I'm here.
What? Hello?
I'm here.
What?
Is Yeti coming?
Hold on.
Is Yeti coming?
Yeti?
I'm here.
This was supposed to be online.
Yeah, I've been sitting in traffic for the last 3 hours.
Why did you go
I
there?
thought you were going to be here.
Why would you sit on traffic, the tank for the Palm Beach Poggers?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, I guess we'll just roll with it then.
I didn't need to drive?
I guess
No.
we run with it?
Yeah, we'll just run with it. Exactly, that's what I just said.
Okay.
Didn't you hear me? All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get this underway then, I guess. And the way we're going to decide the first pick is by me naming a random player who was on the All-Stars and you telling me which team they come from. Now, I go on to explain this a lot longer in the video here, and then I forgot the teams that I actually said. So instead, I'm just going to let these two shout out random team names, and whoever says a random team name first,
JPC. Oh.
they said it at the same time, so got to try it again.
Chrysalis.
Dang.
Oh, look, they said Chrysalis
Yeah,
Apathy first. That means Apathy gets the first pick.
I yield.
What are you
All
picking
right,
first?
I think I've got some notes here. I think this one looks pretty important. So with the first pick, I'm gonna take Smoke.
Very good notes.
I worked on this for hours, and I think I just gotta follow my plan.
That's a good plan. Smoke from the flashbacks, the first overall pick. And now we're gonna go over to Train for the second overall pick here. First pick for Orem.
I gotta check my list real quick. Second pick of the draft, I'm gonna go with QZ from the Koala Kings.
QZ from the Koala Kings. We don't want to talk about him though. We can't build up that ego anymore. So let's get back to Apathy here. Take a seat, Apathy. Who do you got?
DPS as well. Someone that may be very familiar. His name is Mr. Yeti of the Big
What a
Buccaneers.
terrible mistake you just made. I can't believe you would pick that guy over Milo, over so many other talented
oh my gosh,
people.
Man. This is actually like he's reading my draft pick list right off the top of my head, man.
Right here.
Jeez.
All right,
Oh man. Okay. Next, I think I gotta probably go support. I'm gonna go Potato of Flashbacks, the one and only
Potato of flashbacks.
Potato. Former
Potato.
Flashbacks, currently at the Big Buccaneers. That one's on me. That one's on me, Chief.
I'll say. How did you get that one wrong? Nope. You guys are very confusing. I mean, somebody's got to fly that pirate flag, I guess. So we got Potato joining up with Train's team. Orem, Apathy, who are you picking?
I am going to take Mr. Triangle Overwatch. I'm going to take Triangulum.
One and only.
Triangulum from the flashbacks. Actually, from the flashbacks. We got that one right this time. I'm impressed. All right, Train, who are we picking here for your next pick?
I'm missing tanks at this point. I'm gonna, you know what? We gotta go with Synergy Diff. I'm gonna go with Kemi of Koala Kings.
Kemi from the Koala Kings, the third pick overall for Orem. And now Apathy is assuming the power stance here for just a brief moment before he settles in for his fourth pick.
I'll have to think about it for the next one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm talking. I don't remember what I said. Just musing right now.
As a renowned DPS player, I'm going to continue ignoring supports. And stop reading that.
What is this?
That's my secret notebook. Don't show it. Don't show it.
I'm bugging.
This is my sketchbook. Stop it.
Okay, all right.
Secret sketchbook.
That's not your draft book?
No, this is my draft book.
All right. Yeah. We need to see that one more time, please. Can you bring Buff Thug back to?
It's my sketchbook.
It's Buff Thug. All right, Buff Thug, everybody.
They were together in my bundle.
Man, my house is private. How did you get in here? Like,
your dog let me in. Keep going DPS, and I'm gonna go Virgo.
Virgo from the Miami Yikes, now the fourth pick to Indigo, and we go back to Train, assuming the picking chair.
Well,
because you're not gonna take the support that I want.
Well, that means, I've got all the DPS I want, I think. So I'm gonna go another tank, and I'm gonna take Chobi of Chrysalis.
Chobi of Chrysalis. The one and only Chobi picked for the fourth pick for Train here for Orem. Apathy in the power position. Yeah.
He's already got all the tanks, so I could save them for last. I'm just gonna pick his DPS for him. I'll just take Milo.
Milo from Sky Guardians. Yeah, that's your.
DPS are exactly where I want them, King.
That's your MVP.
Exactly where I want them.
That's your MVP.
Instead of saving them for last.
You know what? I would pick them just so you don't steal them, but at this point,
I can't.
You can't.
And that's.
You know what? I'm gonna go Exu of the Palm Beach Poggers for my support pick.
Okay.
Exu from the Palm Beach Poggers for Train, fifth pick for Orem. Apathy.
Yeah, I guess I'll do it, and I'll match Exu with another flex support in color form of the Luminous Foxes.
That's a
color form from Apathy's favorite team. I was wondering when he was going to pick one of these guys.
Yeah, but
he's practically a simp.
So I didn't need to take him early.
Oh, I said the forbidden Twitch word. Oh, no.
Well, at this point, I've got Not too many options. It's 3. I think we're gonna go with Sips T of JPC.
Sips T from JPC, former
No.
MVP. That's a lot of rhymes, is
My
what
plan,
that is, boys and
That's
girls.
the first one that hasn't been according to plan.
Apathy
That's my notebook.
throwing the notebook in a fit
See,
of
I have-
rage.
That was your draft book, right?
I have Sips Tea right here in my draft book.
Oh, nice.
I'm so impressed by those notes even still on the dub
Oh,
that I
nice.
can barely handle myself.
Let's see. What's out of here?
Well,
Apathy
I was stuck
back
in
in the power
traffic for
position.
so long because of this miscommunication, so I'm not gonna take him. I'm gonna go with Bubba Wyatt, Sky Guardians, just because of IRL events. Even though, sorry, traffic.
Traffic in shambles.
Hating traffic because of
truly in
actual
shambles.
traffic, just an inexcusable thing as you pick Bubba Wyatt with your
I
next
sure
pick
do.
here.
Oh my gosh.
Train, your 7th pick here.
You know what?
No, there's still 3 supports.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you already
have
had
2.
Oh, yeah. Duh.
Yeah, he has 2. He can only pick one more.
That is. Well, that's not what we're here for yet.
Here for,
Right,
for the content, Yeti.
You're here for the content, and boy, is this
We're
content,
gonna
especially
go
on the dub.
Cucumber?
Cucumber.
It's
Cucumber?
cucumber.
There's an extra E in there.
It's a silent
Cucumber.
E.
All right, silent E of the Luminous Foxes. I apologize, Cucumber. I don't study English. I've never done that, so.
All right. Do we
Well,
continue
now-
naming them off, or should we just say who's left on our teams now?
No, now teams are pretty much exactly set at this point, so there's no
Yeah.
sense missing the formalities, as we have to even out the teams with 3 supports, 3 tanks, and 4 DPS. So that means that Train
Sorry.
gets
Traffic
for
plates again.
his Train for his final, Apathy for the final 3 picks
Traffic,
gets Traffic,
get your
Traffic
name
from
down
Palm
there.
Beach Poggers, not Traffic in Virginia, or wherever you were, Illinois, Indiana. I don't know. I'm dossing you right now.
Hey, that's an all-star cast right there. I'm happy
That
with
is,
that.
and then you
They're
picked up
really
Hayes as a
all
support and
all-stars.
Yes,
Gag
sir.
as a
Yep.
support as well.
They sure are.
Not have
And
an all-star team.
Train, you have
Yep.
Retro, Stonky, and Blinded closing out your side of the Harmony tier all-star draft. Guys, that is next Tuesday at 8:30 on this very channel. And I am so sorry that you had to sit through that dub, everybody. But this is what happens when you forget to change your mic source. Let this be a lesson to all of you to not screw up as much as I did. So here again, just for everybody's reference points, are the all-star rosters going into next week's Tuesday's all-star match. On the Orem side, you have Kemi, Chobi, Sips T, Potato, Exu, Cucumber, QZ, Retro, Stonky, and Blinded. And then on the Indigo side, you have Smoke, you got Bubba Wyatt, you got Traffic. Wow, Cav, you misspelled the crap. You have Color Form, you have Hayes, you have Gag, Try, Virgo, Milo, and Mr. Yeti, the real MVP, Mr. Yeti, on the final part of the Indigo roster. Again, that match is next Tuesday on this very channel. Be sure to tune in for that. But more importantly, tomorrow on this very channel, you have the grand finals for the Harmony tier, featuring the Koala Kings taking on the Flashbacks. Take note, start time 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow. Again, 7:30 Eastern time tomorrow. Slight change to the itinerary for that, so be sure to tune in so you don't miss any of the action. I've been talking a lot, and I'm ready to pass it on to you guys now here on the analyst desk. We're going to talk about players or matchups that you are watching particularly in this finals. Who are you most looking forward to watching, or what are you most looking for? What matchup are you most looking forward to watching this matchup here, Train?
As an off-tank player, I always have to look at the off-tanks. It's all I know how to talk about, pretty much. So here, I'm going to be looking at Schuster and Kemi. Okay. Very close players in my mind. This season, Kemi wins the off-tank award, the best off-tank in the tier award. Schuster's been improving significantly throughout the season and already was starting pretty high. So it's kind of up in the air. Whichever one of them has a breakout night is probably going to go their way, especially in a tank meta like this. So I'm definitely looking at these two for this match.
All right, Navino, what are you most looking forward to watching in this matchup here?
Okay. It was hard to think about it, and obviously I'm not biased whatsoever, of course. Of course. It's not like Yeti doesn't let me talk much about this game because I'm biased.
Oh, God.
I have the hit scan matchup. Because to me, flex DPS and the DPS line are the consistent parts because tries in every map, QZ's in every map, while both teams have a rotating hit scan player between Milan and Anguish for flashbacks, then Tree 60 and Sergeant Pepper for Koala. And all four players together are very good, right? But to me, it comes down to like who's going to be the most consistent? Like, is there going to be maps where Anguish dominates or Milan dominates versus when Tree or Pepper dominates? Because I think QZY and Try are very like even and will give each other a run for their money in terms of mechanical skill. But it's going to me, everything else is so even that I think it really does come down to something like the hit scan matchup.
Delphi, where are you at with this one?
I'm not really looking at any specific players and more so the support line for each team. Flashback has the standard rostered 2 support players, but Koala Kings has 4 supports, which is absolutely crazy because they have 4 players with a bunch of unique, different, diverse set of skills. So it's going to be interesting to see if the 2 supports on Flashback are able to match with their flexibility, if they're able to match some of these other support players on Koala Kings that have really mastered their individual picks or the comps that they play in specifically. So it's going to be interesting to see if Flashbacks can match with their flexibility. So I'm really going to be looking forward to that one.
Nagi, what matchup are you looking forward to most?
Well, I thought a while about this. I had to look at the rosters and stuff. But I chose a matchup between, is it Tree?
Try.
Try, okay. Try, and
We
I
have
picked
Tree.
the 2
Koala
hardest
has
names to say. QZ. I think it's QZ.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, I think they're 2 very strong DPS. They both have 3-letter names. They have similar hero pools and stuff like that. I like watching DPS matchups in games like this when they're pretty equal in skill and they have equal like hero pools or similar hero pools. So I think that it'll be very entertaining to watch them duel it out.
All right, definitely a good matchup there. I am watching for one player in particular, and that's JeffBot. I've been talking a lot about JeffBot this season. I'm a big JeffBot fan as a tank. I think they are criminally underrated in the main tank realm of Tranquility. A lot of people talk about Smoke. A lot of people talk about Chobi. All fantastic in their own right. CQ, there's a lot of fantastic, great main tanks in this tier. But I think JeffBot doesn't get enough credit for what they brought to the table this season. I am a big JeffBot fan, and for me, it comes down to how well do they compete with Smoke. We've seen Smoke be just the dominant main tank all season, and I think JeffBot is certainly capable of standing up to Smoke and not letting Smoke push him or his team around. So that's the matchup I'm particularly watching. I think JeffBot is definitely up to the challenge. I don't think this will be a situation where Smoke is just able to be completely in control of a team because I am really, like I said, I think JeffBot is criminally underrated compared to other main tanks in the tier. So, all right, guys, I'm going to talk about these individual team lines here, the tanks, the supports, the DPS. I'm curious who you guys think has the edge on each of these lines here. Train, let's talk about the tanks. Which team has a more impressive tank line in your eyes?
Yeah, I have been going back and forth on this for the past few days. And I most recently changed my answer about 30 minutes ago. So I ended up giving the edge to Koala Kings by a hair. Now this is for almost exactly the reasons that Yeti talked about with JeffBot. I think, in these 2 teams, Smoke has been far and away the best main tank in the tier throughout the whole season. Kemi's been the best off tank throughout the whole season. But I think when you start comparing across the roles, JeffBot for me has been closer to Smoke than Schuster has been to Kemi. So really, really close in that tank category here. but just Koala Kings by an absolute hair. It could really go either way on match day.
Let's go now to the supports. Nagi, I go to you. Which team you think has the edge on supports?
Well, this is a little difficult for me, and it's even more difficult because what Delphi said is very similar to what I was thinking about. But so I don't know a lot of the supports on both teams besides Trigger Happy and You Can't See Me, but I know that they're both very strong supports. However, I made my decision based on a different line of thinking. I noticed the same thing Delphi said. They have 4 supports, which is a lot. Their amount of supports, I think, outweighs the rest of the roster even. And they have a flex. You could say they have 5. Anyway, Flashbacks has 2 supports versus 4 or 5. So I think Koala Kings could have the edge here due to the fact that they could swap certain supports in and out depending on the enemy support's weaknesses and strengths. I think that's the power of a 9-man team. And especially when you've got a lot of supports to choose from.
Sorry, I just had a momentary big frame skipping there, and I apologize everybody who happened to tune in for that. That did not look great, but hopefully you're still here with me. Sorry about that. I think I got it restabilized. I hope. I think I did. Okay, so support edge going over to Koala Kings. Delphi, where do you stand here regarding DPS?
This one is super close. So both of these teams are very dominant teams in their own respect, and I don't think it's going to come down to any one individual player, and more so how the all 6 players are going to be working with each other. I have on paper that I'm giving it to Flashbacks. Try's great DPS. Anguish and Milan are like pretty much perfect complements for them. But QZ is going to give Try a run for their money when it comes down to taking the duel. It's going to be really close. Honestly, it could go either way. It's going to come down to coordination, who can capitalize on enemy team mistakes. But again, I don't think it's going to be one individual person that's pushing one team over the edge versus the other. I think it's going to come down a lot to team play. But I gave it to Flashbacks because it seems like they have a little bit of an edge over it, but it really could go either way. Both teams have very good DPS players.
All right, guys, let's just break it down and get this one over with. Predict the result. This is a hotly contested one. We've expected these 2 teams to come to the end. It's been predicted since the beginning of the season. It was the Harmony tier finals in the preseason was these 2 teams. And now we see it again here in the actual grand finals themselves. So I think everybody saw this coming. Train, what is your final prediction here?
Again, I went back and forth up to half an hour before podcast. I'm going Flashbacks 4-3, just barely.
Navino, I did skip you, but if you wanted to say anything, you're welcome to say something as the such an involved member of that org. I feel like I'll
It's almost as if I pour so much time into that thing. All I gotta say is I think a lot of people underrate the big parts of the team, whether it be the other supports or frankly our hit scan DPS, because Pepper and Tree have both played really well, especially like in the most recent match versus Chrysalis. I think people underrate it. It's kind of funny that if you had asked me like when I started season 6, if this would have been the matchup I expected then versus now, just a year, like not a year later, but a season later. But I'm excited for the game. And as Capital says, we probably have the repeat curse.
All right. And yeah, the repeat curse is real, by the way, except for the part it's not. But it's real. Delphi, coming to you now. Your prediction on this score.
I think this is going to be a really close match, but it is going to favor Flashbacks a little bit. So I'm going to give Flashbacks the 4-2. Not necessarily quite the 4-3. I got to give it to Flashbacks here.
Flashbacks 4-2 from Delphi. Nagi, where do you stand on this?
I think that this is going to be an incredibly close match, like very close. So I'm giving it 4-3 Flashbacks, but I could see that I could easily be wrong. I think it's going to be really close.
I personally had this one going. I wrote down initially a different score, but I'm going to change it on the fly here. I'm going to go 4-3 also to the flashbacks. I think this will be the closest final we have. But I think it's also for the same reason I'm raising my scores, because honestly, I probably have underrated Tree and Pepper for that team, and I think they're gonna bring. I think this really is going to be a great final, and it's going to be, in my opinion, the closest final as well. And I expect both these teams to be fighting tooth and nail to raise that championship at the end of the season here, the virtual championship that nobody actually gets to hold, but it's nice to imagine it. So. But yeah, that's the end of our Harmony tier, guys. Again, reminder, this grand finals airs at 7:30. Again, that's 7:30 tomorrow on this very channel, so do not miss it. It's going to be quite the banger, as you would expect. We're going to go to Transcendence tier next, and there's a specific reason for that, because like I said before, I am a terrible, terrible content maker, and I may or may not have forgotten to change my mic source for this recording again. So once again, much like the Harmony tier, you are going to get the Yeti dubs, and not the W's, but Yeti subtitles, or not Yeti, not subtitles, Yeti voiceovers. It's gonna be great. I cannot wait to do yet another one of these for the Transcendence tier All-Star Draft. Oh, that's still the Harmony tier. Let me get rid of that and mind the scuff. And welcome everybody to the Transcendence tier All-Star Draft. I'm Mr. Yeti. I don't know if you knew that, guys. I'm wearing a different shirt now, so maybe I look a little different. But nonetheless, we're here with Delphi representing Team Indigo, and we're here with Navino representing Team Aurum as the honorary GMs.
Windigo.
No,
So we don't
Delphi,
lose.
Delphi, don't interrupt me for your terrible jokes. Give me a break.
I'm just Marsupial Gaming's GM, so thus we win things.
Yeah,
Potato Org wouldn't really know much about that, so
Navino, I swear to God. I swear to God, one more word and I will hack the GGNA server.
What's your players' peaks?
I'm just kidding. Calm down, everybody.
Are we not
going
to talk about that?
Calm down. Calm down. Everybody calm down. Sorry. Calm down.
We got to set the rivalry early.
We gotta go with it.
All right. We're going to get this one rolling again. Just like before, I name a player who happens to be an all-star, and you have to tell me which team they will be on, or they are on, actually, rostered to in the Tranquility season.
Okay.
And Navino quickly races to pull up the poster as I name a player that I forget.
Battalion.
That was Delphi first on that one.
Replay.
No, no replay. No, it was very clear, and it's even more clear on the dub. Anyways, moving on. Your first overall pick, Delphi.
I gotta go tried and true and pick up Cosine from DPS.
Cosine,
Alpha
first,
DPS. Sorry.
Cosine, your first overall pick for Indigo for Delphi from Alpha. Good pick overall here. Navino.
I'm taking the MVP. Oh, Canada.
Ooh.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Also from Alpha as well, the MVP this season in Transcendence here, going to Navino.
My tank, I see.
Yeah. You thought I was just gonna go for Devil Deuce player.
I thought you were gonna pick Billy. Not gonna lie.
No. Billy annoys me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair. I completely understand that. Yep. But Delphi, let's go to your second pick here.
Well,
who are you gonna go with?
I'm gonna keep it split. I'm not gonna go all in on DPS yet. I'm gonna pick up Andy from GDH. I need a good strong main tank, and there's none on Devil Dukes. So.
Ooh.
Dang! Wow. You're going that hard when you're like a 3-1 main tank there, bud. Jeez,
right?
weird.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Nah, Billy's a really good tank.
We're just memeing. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna go then with the Flex God himself, Cam, who is support, nice, but has played every role in the Trank match of the season.
It's a good one.
Cam from the Devil Dukes going to Navino's second pick. Delphi, your third pick.
I'm gonna stay in the GDH realm, and I'm gonna pick up Ice as my first support player here.
Ice, the season 3 MVP from the Discord tier.
I'm going to pick Orsted from GDH.
Oh,
Orsted's
Go
staying
on,
with
go
the
on.
MVP line. Orsted, the season 1 MVP for GDH. Delphi, your next pick here. I think I ramble a little bit more.
Orsted
but
is kind of old and a little washed, so I'm gonna pick the other a little old and a little washed DPS player on this list, and I'm going with Mr. Smugs, my man Smugs from Decapitators.
Speaking of MVPs, they just keep rolling in. Smugs, the season 2 MVP, goes to Delphi.
As much as I meme on Billy. I'm not picking them, but I'm going to go with you know what? I actually had a person in mind. We're going to go with Charbitus from Decap.
Ooh,
Charybdis.
Charybdis.
Charybdis, bro. What? I never would have pronounced that correctly.
Charybdis.
We know you wouldn't have pronounced it correctly, but now we'd had to do it for you.
I think it's Greek, Roman. I think it might be Greek.
One of those things.
I'm just saying that now he's
Yeah,
he
it's
is
all
in there.
three of us. We all need to learn.
All right, Delphi, let's get over to your next pick. Your fifth
Alrighty,
pick.
I think. I need another support player to kind of round out ice here, and I like dirt and I like playing in the dirt. So I'm gonna pick up George Lopez because everybody hyped them up the entire season. So I got to see this for myself.
I also like dirt.
Fair.
George Lopez going for the 5th overall pick to
Wait,
Delphi
isn't
Navino.
Is George a main or flex support?
I think flex. So I have 2 flex supports right now.
I think flex support.
I think there is only one main support of the support.
I think there
player.
is.
Yeah. No. I just realized that. I just found it funny. Did you pick Andy? I don't remember.
Yes. Yoink.
Okay.
Pay attention. Imagine.
Then I am going to pick Truth from Decap.
Good pick.
Truth, main tank from the Decapitator, is going for the 5th overall pick to Navino. 6th pick for you, Delphi.
So
who you taking?
Took 2 decaps. I'm gonna have to take a Devil Duke from you, and I'm gonna pick up Billy Gott.
All right, that's fair.
Billy got
goat
finally
himself.
taken off the
The goat.
board. They are going in the 6th round to Delphi here. Navino, your 6th pick. Who are you
main tanks.
taking? What
Look, they're both bad because they both have friends in Nostalgia Org. So I don't know if I even want to pick them.
That's true. Nostalgia
that
bad.
being said,
Nostalgia bad.
I need
Hashtag
another
nostalgia bad
support
in the chat.
Player. So I am going to pick the meme god himself, Capital.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
You're leaving me with the good support out of the 2 that are
I know.
remaining. Yes.
Capital taken off the board for
is it?
Navino. And now we go to Delphi.
I had Heart down as a tank for some reason because my sheet's Pepega.
You sure did.
I'm still left with 2 really good support players.
You
honestly.
definitely are.
Do I want to betray Deputy here? No,
You
I'm
should.
picking up Deputy Bass.
What a terrible
I
pick
can't-
that
I
was.
can't
I mean,
throw
great
Deputy
pick
under the
picking
bus like
Deputy
that,
Boss with
especially
the
since
7th
he's
pick.
most
Is Deputy
improved.
Bass or Deputy Boss? Nobody actually knows. I just go with Deputy. It's a lot easier that
4-4
way.
peak
Really
off
just shorten his
tank
name.
on support.
Well,
All right, let's go to
I'm
Navino
really
for your
going
8th
to
pick
put
or
off
7th pick.
picking Train or Garrett as long as possible. So I'm just gonna pick my 3rd support player, Heart. Yeah,
That's a good one.
Art.
the only true main support in the draft.
Art's taken off the board here by Navino with the
Alrighty.
7th pick.
Ooh, that's kind of tough. I'm gonna pick up Nyx from Shockwave. Very good tracer player.
Nyx from Shockwave picking here another part of the Reckless Org along with Alpha.
Oh, I'm going
Navi-
pro gamer now. You gotta get the FARA OTP in this.
Navino
Heck yeah.
excitedly picking Pro Gamer, which is just weird, but we'll roll with it nonetheless. Pro Gamer taken 8th overall by Navino here. We go to the 9th pick for you, Delphi. Your choices are limited, sir.
I'm gonna go ahead and pick Train here for my off tank player.
Train picked by Delphi as the 9th pick. I have to imagine Train feels good about that one as he sits here and waits for me to be done with this dub. But we'll chat.
I'm going to pick. I guess I'm kind of stuck picking either Garrett or Lashley, but no, I'm gonna pick then. I'm gonna pick the potential never realized candidate of the year, aka Flying Lions Lazuli. throwback to Discord.
That's excuse me, Navino. That is Lazuli
Good
underscore Overwatch to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Delphi, your
Yeah.
hand is forced here. Who you taking?
Ceruleum from the Cuttlefish.
SS Cuttlefish's Ceruleum, one of the few remaining players from that team who stuck it out. But nonetheless, Ceruleum, heck of a season, all things considered. Navino, that leaves one and only for you. That was Garrett from Reckless Shockwave. And that is the end of these horrible dubs. Thank you so much for all of your patience, everybody. The dubs are finished. And my God, I am so sorry that I forgot to turn on my mic source. I will never do something so dumb again. But here are your all-star rosters again. If your Transcendence tier Aurum all-stars, you have Garrett, O Canada, Truth, Capital, Cam, Hart, Lazuli, Orsted, Charybdis, and Pro Gamer on Aurum. And on Indigo, you have Billy Got, Andy, Train, Deputy Boss, Base, Deputy, Dep, Cutie, Base, George Lopez, Ice, Cosine, Smugs, Nix, and Ceruleum for Indigo. And that all-star match will be next Wednesday on this very channel, guys, 8:30 Eastern. You don't want to miss it. But another match this Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern you also don't want to miss is your Transcendence Tier Grand Finals. And it's the match we have been waiting for 2 seasons. The teams, the juggernauts of the tier, the teams that we have been hoping will finally come to blows, and we finally get the pleasure of enjoying Reckless Alpha and God Hand this season here in our grand final. Train, what is one matchup you are looking forward to most watching in this match?
You know what? In Harmony, I said all I know how to talk about is off tanks. Got to go back to the off tank matchup. I'm looking at O Canada, the MVP, versus the one and only Mammoth Man. Just speaking from experience, these are 2 players that are just everywhere on the map, constantly creating pressure on the front line, the back line. You really can't get away from them, and it is oppressive to play against. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how these 2, or one of them, neither of them, take over this game completely, because they always do, even if it's not immediately obvious. So I'm keeping my eye on them. They both got pop-off potential. They can play different play styles, reactively, proactively. They do it all. So I'm excited to see how they adapt to each other.
Navino, what matchup are you most looking forward to here?
I definitely muted myself. Yeah,
You definitely did. There we go. We're back.
There we go. Okay. We're gonna pretend I was looking at this the entire time. I have the main tank battle because I have Andy versus. Okay, I don't know if he likes to go by like Lucksmith or DSS Panda, whatever one they go by. Like,
I think they just go by Lucksmith.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dope. I got to give it to the boy himself, Andy, in my opinion. I think the main tank battle is going to be so important. And I think when I think of GDH, no offense to Mammoth Man, of the tank line, I think Andy is the real star of the tank line. Like, Andy makes or breaks this tank line. And he does so well on the ball, so well in the Orisa, just like with his IGLs and everything. Like, he is a catalyst for them.
Mammoth Man is in shambles right now. Delphi, what's your matchup you're looking forward to?
I am really, really, really looking forward to the long-awaited Orsted versus Cosine duel we're going to see in this final. Both of them probably the best 2 Tracer players in Trance altogether. Cosine, I think, is currently sitting at 4-3 on DPS, which is absolutely insane. Orsted really doesn't play the game, besides he duos with me in like low master sometimes, and we throw a bunch of games. So he might be a little out of practice.
And he's washed. Can't forget washed.
And he's washed and old. And
old.
But yeah, regardless, I think that the duel, honestly, like mechanically, they're both so cracked and they're on such a similar level that it's going to be so entertaining to watch. I think Cosine is going to have the one up against Orsted. I'm not going to lie. Like, Orsted's really good. He's got the training from Rocket. Fun fact, actually, Orsted trained Rocket on how to play Tracer, and then Rocket took it and went to the moon, so to speak.
So
So
when Rocket's playing Tracer in Overwatch League,
yeah,
we
we can thank Orsted.
can thank
Our
Orsted. Just remember that.
resident old man Orsted. We can thank him for that.
You can
But,
also you could thank Thug as well, because Thug told Rocket he was a 3.2 Reaper 1 trick back in season 4,
that's good motivation
season
to
3,
learn
and
Tracer.
well, Thug, you were wrong. No buff Thug photo is gonna make me change my mind. So, anyways,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Tracer duel. It's gonna be so entertaining to watch. I think it's gonna be back and forth all night.
all right, Nagi, what's the matchup you're watching most?
Well, I also picked Cosine, but instead I picked versus Mini. Obviously, Alpha's been insanely strong this season and last season. And we know that Cosine is like a crazy good DPS contributing to their success, as is everyone on Alpha. I mean, they're a 6-man team, so obviously they're all contributing. But I think that, I picked Cosine versus Mini because I think both teams are strong as a whole. I think Alpha has a team edge, but whenever I watched or played against GDH, Mini was kind of doing the most, I feel. Mini was always getting picks left and right. So I think that watching those two DPS will be very fun.
All right, and let's see here. My personal matchup I'm watching, it's a combination of, it's basically the support matchup. Ice, we all know how good Ice is. He's all right. We know Palico and Hart, both fantastic supports as well. I'll be honest with you, I was not high up on the other supports from GDH. And then I watched, or then I got the opportunity to cast Devil Dukes versus GDH. And I saw Zuby on the Brigitte, and wow. I was actually really surprised, as I thought Zuby was as washed as they come. And I mean that with the most love in my heart, and Zuby knows that. But I thought Zuby was as washed as it gets with regards to the support play. But Zuby stepped up big and made some huge plays pretty much all throughout the night on Brig. Is that a sign that Brig is very easy? It's not what I'm saying. Am I implying that heavily to the point of yes? I'm implying a lot of things. But in reality, what it comes down to me is that support line. I need to see Zuby. I need to see Boredom. I need to see both of them really step up. I need to see Ice have that really great Baptiste game that we've already seen them have so far this season. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. And I'm really excited because these supports are fantastic for both teams. Speaking of matchups of lines here, Navino, let's talk about the tanks for both teams. You kind of touched on it a little bit already. Which tank line are you giving the edge to?
I really struggle because I do think Canada is such a good off tank, and I think Lucksmith does a really good job at main tank, and I do think Andy's better, but I think so. This is gonna say how I saw it was to be the gap between Andy and Lucksmith is larger than the gap between Canada and Mammoth Man, if that makes sense. So I gave the edge to God Hand personally.
Let's go now to, because he said God Hand for tanks. Delphi, we're talking about supports now. Who'd you give the edge for that?
This one is really tough. Ice, Zuby, Boredom, they all have a legacy in Trank as being great players individually. They have the history here. But Hart and Palico, they're basically on a whole different level in terms of their cooperation with each other and their discipline and playing off each other really well. So it's going to be really close, but I got to give it to Alpha. I think they just edge it out just a little bit on the support line.
All right. DPS Train. You're very qualified to talk about Transtier DPS. Who, in your opinion, stands out on that line, or which line is going to reign supreme there?
Yeah, these two teams, you look at the DPS lineups, and you just look at Alpha, you look at Rin and Cosine, and it's just disgusting. How do you deal with these two threats at the same time? And it's hard to even think of a DPS line that could match them. And then you look at GDH's DPS line, and you have Dog and Orsted and Mini. And it's just at this point, come on, guys. You must be joking. Harmony T player playing in Transtier, and I'm dealing with Dog, Orsted, and Mini. Come on, man. not fair. But overall, the history, I got to go GDH on this side. Mini coming back in, there's a lot of creativity there, a lot of excitement, a lot of energy around this team. I think their playmaking potential is really, really high, and their consistency is really high as well. So, Rin and Orsted, no slashes by any means, but I'm going to go GDH just by a little bit here for the DPS line.
All right. That being said, let's get to all the predictions. I'm putting in reverse order this time, so we're going to start with Nagi. Where are you standing on this matchup?
I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
I know. I hate you with the curveball.
I was just sitting back. So wait, where am I? Oh, there I am. Okay. So I gave it 4-2 to Alpha. Like I was mentioning earlier, I think Alpha is just such a strong team. Like playing against them last season on season before last, not last season, I guess technically. Playing against them, they're just really, really strong. I think out of everybody who is on the top, I think that they have the most capability of taking Godhand down. So yeah, I give them 4-2. It could be like 4-3, but I'm definitely giving it to Alpha.
4-2 to Alpha from Nagi. Delphi, where do you stand on this one?
This is going to be really close. And on any normal day, I would give it 4-3 Alpha, but I have a little bit of insider trading, and that is Alpha will be playing without Rin on Wednesday. They're going to have to find a ringer for Rin. He unfortunately ended up hurting his wrist snowboarding, which from what I understand, he is okay, just not able to play. So they have to find a ringer and work with that ringer in a championship match, which was absolutely crazy. I don't know if they're going to have that same level of coordination that they would have if it was Cosine and Rin playing together. So I still think it's going to be a really close match, but I have to give it 4-3 GDH just because Alpha is going to be down that one, and one like weak link in the chain can throw it all apart. So
Reckless Alpha losing 4-3 according to Delphi to GDH. Navino, where do you stand on this one?
I've in general, I've watched more GDH games. They played like Devil Dukes, like my works team twice, 3 times counting regular season, right? And I've just watched a lot more of the gameplay, and so inherently, I'm going to predict, I think, Godhand to win, and I have them winning 4-2.
Had a couple frame skips there. I think the sound quality is good, but I don't know what's going on with my frames today. I apologize, everybody. Train, where do you stand on this one?
Yeah, originally I had 4-2 Alpha. It's just kind of my gut feeling. But then, I'm running down the list. I'm looking tank matchup, DPS lineup, support matchup. I'm hearing Delphi's arguments. I'm kind of flipping that scoreline now. I think I might go 4-2 GDH. But again, very, very close match. I think there are a lot of factors at play here. Definitely excited to watch it happen. But yeah, I think I'm going to finalize 4-2 GDH. Final answer.
See, I'm going personally with 4-2 Alpha. Here's the thing. Losing Rin hurts a ton. No question about it. But when I look at that team, I see fantastic supports. I see fantastic tank line. And I think both their support line and their tank line are better than what GDH brings to the team. Losing Rin hurts a ton for this team. But I feel like if you're going to lose any role, having it be one of your DPS players, I think it's one you can get away with. I feel like if it was a support or a tank, I think we might be singing a different tune right now. But I think because it's a DPS player, I think Alpha overcomes that. And I do have to say, I think this Alpha is just hungry to prove that last season was a fluke for them. Think of how brutally their season ended, and that was just tough. Losing to Arcana Emperor was a crazy upset at the time. They were down a couple players at that point, and they barely lost to a very strong Arcana Emperor team with players like, we all remember Dimitri, Slatboy. That team was solid. And this, to me, I feel like losing Rin, I'd give maybe GDH one more map. But I think Alpha's tank line, I think their tank synergy, I think their supports will help carry them to the dub this week. I think Alpha finally redeems themselves this week and picks up the 4-2 win. GDH, you can go ahead and get the angry whispers out of the way whenever you want. But anyways, let's get to your last tier, and that is Discord tier. Really quick before we start the All-Star Draft video, this one actually with sound. That means I can take a break finally. This one is your All-Star Draft for Discord. This is your last call to get giveaway entries in for this week's giveaway. I'm going to give you guys about 20 seconds to go ahead and get those giveaway entries in. This is a reminder, the Transcendence tier match is taking place Wednesday at 8:30 on this very channel. And then Thursday is the Discord tier final between Paradise Lost and Reminiscence at 8:30 Eastern as well. So again, last chance for giveaways. Last chance. Reminder, we will have one more $100 gift card being raffled off next week. So you're already probably planning on watching the finals anyways, but now you have extra reason to, because you're picking up those points, picking up all those gamble monies for another couple of giveaway entries for next week's $100 Amazon gift card and t-shirt giveaway on the final Iris podcast of the season. So we certainly hope that you tune in for that. But with no further ado, here is the Discord tier All-Star Draft. Hello and welcome to the Discord tier All-Star Draft. I'm Mr. Yeti and I'm joined here by Thea representing the Orem side, and I'm joined by Bowsy as well representing Indigo. They will be drafting your Discord tier. They'll be drafting your Discord tier All-Star teams, and by the way, this will be the one draft where I actually don't scuff the audio. So I hope you enjoyed the other two. This one is going to be slightly less scuffed. I promise.
As long as you don't have reverb Bowsy, we're fine.
Yes.
No oh
reverb
my
Bowsy
god.
Today. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get this going the same way we got the other draft started, by picking who gets the first pick. And the way we do that is through a little short rapid fire quiz. And the way that happens is I will name one of the all-star players, and the first person to say which team they are on will receive. Wow, my throat. I'm very sick, everybody. They will receive the first overall pick here in this All-Star Draft.
Take a shot every time Yeti has voice crack.
Take a shot every time Yeti goes through puberty.
You gotta go get some Mousecatools, everyone. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and name that All-Stars team. That All-Star is Smarties.
Jalapenos.
That was the same time. We'll pick another one. Lars.
Paradise Lost.
That's Thea. Thea, you get the first draft pick for Orem. Who will you be taking?
Well, because you did mention his name, and we'll start with there. I'm picking Lars from Paradise Lost.
Lars from Paradise Lost, the first overall draft pick to Thea. Bowsy, first pick for Indigo.
For Indigo, I am choosing Pegapants from Mechanize.
Pegapants from Mechanize going to Bowsy. The first two DPS are off the board. Thea, your next pick.
I'm gonna need a main tank. There are only 2 main tanks in this list of 6 tanks. Crazy, right? As if like main tank is a hard roll. I'm taking Blood Hungry just because flashbacks, season 6 nostalgia. Yes.
Blood Hungry from flashback or from Reminiscence here. Pardon me. Bowsy, your turn. Who you taking?
Well, just so Thea doesn't steal the other main tank on this list, I'm taking Beppo from SEAL Team Spuds.
All right, Beppo from the SEAL Team Spuds to Bowsy and Indigo. Thea, your turn on the third pick.
Yeah, third pick. I'm gonna need a support, and well, I'm gonna need a main support, and I do love the Spuds, so we're taking your teammate from SEAL Team Spuds.
Your teammate from SEAL Team Spuds going to Thea in the third pick. Bowsy, third overall pick for Indigo.
So I would like to follow this trend of going DPS tank support, but I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to grab Chief from Excalibur.
Chief from Excalibur. Chief. Wow. I am quite sick. Thea, your turn with your fourth pick.
Well, I've heard hear good things about this person. I blame Vix for this, so I'm picking Matt Zen from Coca Queens.
Matt Zen from Quokka Queens. That's a great pick, definitely. Bowsy, your turn here. Who are you going to?
I'm picking a support now, and I'm picking Glitch from Reminiscence.
Glitch from Reminiscence. The almost MVP Glitch from Reminiscence there. Thea, your 5th pick.
Well, let's see. We're going to need another support. And, well, I am going to be picking... I'm going to be picking Greninja from Echo Fleet.
Greninja from Echo Fleet to Aurum for the 5th overall pick here. Bowsy, what do you got here?
For my second support player, I am choosing Gusty from Ragnarok Fenrir.
Gusty from Ragnarok Fenrir going to Bowsy. Only one support slot left now for each team going into the next round here. Thea, who you taking?
Oh, we're not taking a support yet. I'm going to hold out on that. We're going to look for an off tank this time. And, well, we're going to pick Culture from Paradise Lost.
Culture joining his teammate Lars on Paradise Lost. Bowsy, who you taking?
I'm going to take an off tank as well. I'm picking Tom Joe from Mark III.
Tom Joe from Mark III joining Indigo. Thea, you're up here. You got a 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 DPS still needed.
Well, I do have a soft spot for Mark III, so we're taking Bunny from Mark III.
Bunny from Mark III, fantastic player. Bowsy, your next pick.
I'm going to pick, we mentioned them at the start, Smarties from Holy Jalapenos.
Smarties from the Holy Jalapenos, leaving just 1 support left on the board. Thea, you're up.
Well, because there's 1 support left, might as well pick them up. It's Rocket from Coca Queens.
Rocket from Quokka Queens joining up with Matt Zen, the teammate there. Bowsy, who do you got?
I am going to pick Seraph from Reminiscence.
Seraph joining Chief and Pega on that DPS line. Thora, who do you got?
Well, I'm going to pick an off tank, and we're taking, making sure we have Beckos on the other team, so we're going to be taking Kiddo on Aurum this time first from Steel Team Spuds.
Kiddo joining his teammate, your teammate, which is just a weird sentence to say, on Thea's team for Aurum. Bowsy, you have a need for 1 DPS and 1 tank, and your tank is decided. So who are you taking?
First, I'm going to be taking Gap from Domination.
Gap from Domination. And I do have to point out, voice cracks and all, that the last player, the last DPS taken on the board is the Season 7 MVP. Is there scuff in question here? I have to say there is. Your hand is forced. I know who you're taking.
My hand was totally forced. This is totally intentional. I'm taking Asdo from Reminiscence, the Discord tier MVP.
The Discord tier MVP falls to second to last pick, and fittingly, of all people to fall into the last pick, Bowsy.
Navino from Quokka Queens.
Navino from the Quokka Queens falls to the last pick. I feel like some shenanigans may have been afoot here, folks. I don't know about you guys. But nonetheless, your teams will be... Thank you very much to Thea and Bowsy. We will see who reigns supreme here in the Discord tier All-Star draft next, or in the Discord tier All-Star match next week. So thank you, Thea. Thank you, Bowsy. And we will be back to the Iris podcast in just a moment.
Smile.
Navino, your thoughts? No thoughts at all.
Huh?
All right.
Oh my gosh! I literally took my headset turned off for. All right. There's a delay. I have stream up, but I did not have my OBS Ninja. So I'm assuming we're asking my player matchup, right?
No. We're asking your thoughts on the draft before we get to the player matchup.
I thought I missed more. Holy shit. Honestly,
Navino's in space today.
I kind of like, my eyes kind of just went blurry and kind of like, started fading to black when Asdo was not taking the first, 9 picks. And then you had, just like I got fat kidded, bro. And I got the weight to prove it, bro. And so like
You and me both, brother. Let's talk matchups now. And really quick, the first thing I need to ask is, and make it being made aware of this in chat. Davino, tell me about the matchup between hot dogs and Korean barbecue, because that is still confusing.
Did Asdo say that Twitch
Yeah.
chat? Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
So
Tell me why you would go to Korean barbecue and order Oscar Myers.
First off, sir. First off, Asdo did not give the full context of the story. It was truly a Joey reunion in LA. And we went to a Korean barbecue. And I was like, what if I ordered hot dogs here for the bit? It's on their menu. What if I ordered it for the bit? I said, let's see if there's something special about them. Spoiler, there was nothing special about them. And so I ate a hot dog at Korean barbecue. And the worst thing was they gave us so many, like Asdo. I was there with Asdo, True, and Jeff. And they were all like, we're not eating it. We're not eating it. They all ended up eating some of it with me because we didn't want to pay for the fee and for leaving food on the
ate the hot dogs. This is why people don't like Joey Esports. I swear.
Bro, it was a lit reunion. I'll tell you that.
Fair enough.
Reunion.
Fair
but we were missing the QZY, but QZY's young and a child, so
True.
only like big kids were allowed.
Only big kids were allowed to enjoy the hot dogs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about Paradise Lost. Let's talk about Reminiscence. Let's not talk about Joey. And we're moving on to players or matchups to watch this in this finals. Start with you, Train. What matchup are you most looking forward to here?
I'm talking not the off tanks this time. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to stop somewhere.
Yes,
It was
did.
here. At this time, I decided, you know what? Give the support some love, man. I went for Glitch and Rigmadon. I am just excited by these two players. They are just very reliable, very consistent, but they somehow combine that with some playmaking potential at the same time. Now, they're surrounded by very strong teams. They both have a lot of space to work with, usually, but they still make use of that space very, very well. Glitch lives through fights they should not live through. Rigmadon creates opportunities they should not be able to create. So it's really just a matchup of two players who are excellent at stretching the boundaries of their role, and they start to do other people's jobs for them as well, which is always great to see.
Davino, where do you stand on a matchup to watch this?
I originally had after playing them, I truly am it is so dependent on if I don't know who says it's pronounced Losh, but
Swedish, apparently,
bro,
or Norwegian. I don't know.
All right, well, I'm gonna say it the American way. And Lars
America
versus Asdo, right? That's who I had, right? I had that DPS matchup, but if I'm being honest, that's what it comes down to. Is and it's so funny, and when you watch them play in the upper bracket finals before champ bracket, right? You kind of just watch Lars, frankly, get DPS diffed and then just get tempo diffed. And so, if Lars can slow it down and play his game, I think they'll have a chance, but I just don't see it happen.
Delphi, what's the matchup you're most looking forward to watching?
I'm looking at both DPS lines in general. Both teams have very strong DPS players. And all season we watched a ton of different pop-off potentials from both sides of the field. I think there are going to be a lot of decisive fights. Once the fight starts, it's going to be ended pretty quickly, but it's going to be both ways. It's going to be like a tug of war all night where one side's going to win, the next side's going to win, the other side's going to win, etc. It's just going to be really enjoying to see these two really strong DPS lines go at it all night.
Nagi, what's the matchup you're looking forward to?
So I'm looking forward to Blood Hungry versus Azakari. Two very strong tanks. I watched some of the matches lately with Paradise Lost, and Azakari is like an insane main tank. And we already know that Blood Hungry is too. So I think that matchup is going to be really fun to watch. And like, I seriously mean, like, Azakari is so good. I feel like we need to hype him up more because watching those matches, so good.
Azakari Wrecking Ball, I believe. I mean, even Navino, you highlighted when we were talking before the stream. That's a spooky, good tank. Like,
and Winston and like,
Winston,
every
yeah.
tank I've seen him on is just so good.
I'll get into my thoughts on that, but yeah, I do agree. His Wrecking Ball is very good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, I'm just looking forward to Paradise Lost as a whole against Rem because I feel like Paradise Lost has a lot of uniqueness and strength and flexibility. And now that they're going up against the other strongest team in the tier, I want to see what they can do and how they adapt.
So for me, I'm not watching any players. All the players suck. No, I'm not watching any of the players. Frankly, for me, it's not about the players. Because if it was about the players, it'd be another 4-0 for Rem. Just to be real. Like, I Paradise Lost already played Rem, and they kind of got beat. Kind of got beat bad. And they kind of got beat by Seraph on the main tank. No offense against Seraph. Seraph isn't as good of a main tank as Blood Hungry. And I mean that with... Huh? I mean that with the most respect for Seraph possible. But we saw Paradise Lost kind of get beat up a little bit by Rem. Now, Paradise Lost has a second chance at them. Paradise Lost against Quokka, a very interesting matchup. It was very, very different than I expected. I did not expect that one to go that long. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be a short match with one of the two teams winning. But I didn't know which team was going to win. But it went to 7. I think for me, it comes down to coaching for Paradise Lost. How do you coach a team with this very unique style? How do you answer a very, very challenging matchup that you've already lost three weeks ago? You already got shut out against. And against not even a full team. So for me, it's all about how can Paradise Lost make the adjustments in order to be able to actually compete with Rem. Because if their coaching and their players don't make the adjustments they need to make in order to be able to be competitive with Rem, it's going to be another 4-0. It's going to be the quickest finals we've had to date. Rem is just that good right now. So I need to see Paradise Lost make some changes. I need to see them prepare for this. I need to see better preparation because I think they need to be ready for what we're going to see from Rem. I feel like we're going to see a lot of 6-man from Rem. I think they're going to try to run it down their throats, and it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one for Paradise Lost. So for me, it's all down to their coaching. How do they adjust? How do they make the changes they need to make to be competitive? Because first match, they were not very competitive. Who's got the edge here on the tanks? Navino, you said you were going to talk about it. I'll give it to you. Who's coming out on top of these tank lines?
I think, frankly, like Rem just kind of wipes the floor with him. That being said, like I do think Azakari is very good at the ball, but you talked about the QQPL match, and like I just played them, right? As soon as they got off the ball, they looked much more lost. The only exception was being map 7, Route 66, where they cleaned it up. But like they struggle against high tempo. They struggle against people that like play aggressively and tanks that just take space without a care in the world. I guess like an example of that, like I'll refer back to the matches like when we played them on Dorado. I'm pretty sure Azakari's in the ball glitch. I'm pretty sure. Either way, like because I'm just looking at Twitch chat. But to me, it comes down to like Dine and like Blood Hungry. Like if you get main tank diffed, or not even main tank diffed, just like team diffed with a head scan player on main tank for the first time ever, I think you're gonna struggle against their actual tank line. And I could go into like my thoughts on like if I thought QQ would do any better than PL, and realistically, I don't think we would. Like as much as I want to say it, like I'll fully admit that Rem was going to be the favorite no matter who won between us and PL.
We've been corrected by chat, by the way. Culture on the ball.
Azakari is the horse.
Azakari is the horse, or the.
I take back everything I said about Azakari. I rescind.
All right. let's get to our next group here. Supports. Train, you're uniquely qualified to talk about Discord tier supports. So, which support line reigns supreme?
I went Rem. I just went Rem. I already talked about Glitch, how amazing they are, how much they live. LCS does quite a bit of tactical feeding. I love my Chilean friend.
It amazes me how a Mercy Pocket can feed so much. I just don't understand.
Sometimes it's ping diff. Sometimes he says it's ping diff, and it's really not. But let's just say, LCS and Glitch are a very good match for each other stylistically. Okay, they kite and bunker really cleanly. They communicate about it really well. And when you can tell that your two supports are synergized that well just by watching VODs, that's a remarkable thing, especially in the Discord tier. Okay, where they might struggle is in transitioning into taking that aggressive space. Like Navino's saying, if your tank line is playing super aggressively, then your supports can't just sit back and bunker. You need to do that together. Okay, so that's where they might run into some problems. But as long as they keep the communication up, they decide when they're playing to live, playing to take space, then I don't really see where Rem runs into any problems here. I really don't.
I think for me, one of the biggest things always with Rem is when you, with Paradise Lost, is how good they are at capitalizing on players out of position. That is one of their biggest strengths as a team, is they are so good at identifying people who get slightly out of position and capitalizing on that very quickly. It's really an impressive skill. If you watch their matches, if somebody is just slightly off on the rotations, they're on them within a matter of seconds. And it is pretty impressive to watch how strong they are at identifying and focusing a target down. That's really their strength, and what makes them a fantastic team, minus all the chaos. Nagi, DPS. You are qualified to talk about DPS in the Discord tier as a fellow Discord tier DPS. Which line for you will come out on top?
Well, I'm glad you said that and hyped it up, because I absolutely didn't write anything except for what I put on the sheet. I really should have wrote more. So I am giving it to Rem on DPS, but I think it's really close, because I think Neo and Lars. Wait, how did you say it?
Lars?
It's like
or
Losh.
It's like Losh.
Losh? Okay,
Yeah,
Losh.
it's a not
Norwegian, I think somebody said.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Okay,
I'm just
Losh
rolling with
and
it.
Neo are very good, so I think it'll be close. But that's all I have to say, actually.
I'm a bigger fan of Lars now that I know it's Losh. It's kind of cool. But that's my 2 cents.
Me too.
You can say,
right?
you,
Right?
You might,
Honestly?
after this game, you
Honestly,
might say
I'm a
Losh
bigger Paradise
is
Lost
washed.
Welcome to
Paradise
the club.
Losh, make it happen.
Yeah, or they might say Losh put the kibosh on Quokka Queens. That happened too.
Okay, that's fair. That's
What
fair.
is the kibosh?
That's fair.
I don't know.
Okay.
Train. We're predicting results now. What's your final score here?
I said 4-1 Rem. 4-1 is generous. 4-1 is generous. Really, it's 4-0. I just kind of want to I wanted to bump up Paradise Lost 1, so that in case it went 4-2, I looked like less wrong, So I think it's 4-0, but I'm going to say 4-1. That's my plan.
Navino, where do you stand here?
Well, unlike Train, I'm not a coward. So I'm going to say a 4-0 for Ren. 100% 4-0. Not a doubt in my mind. If they take more than a map, I will be ecstatic for PL, but not a doubt in my mind.
Delphi, where do you stand here?
I got to give it to Rem as well, but I'm going to say 4-2. Paradise Lost has been in this situation before, and they kind of got a little rolled. So I think they learned a lot from that, and they're going to be able to come back and at least take 2 maps. I hope it's a lot closer, but I think it's going to be 4-2 Reminiscence.
Nagi, what is your thought on this one?
So I'm not here to be right about the predictions. I'm here to talk about the teams that I believe in. So I'm going
That's
outside the
fair.
box here, I guess. I'm giving it 4-3 Paradise Lost.
Ooh.
I think that it's going to be closer than people are expecting. I think that nothing pushes a team more than everybody saying there's no way Paradise Lost is going to like even get a map. Like I think that is the drive for your team to push as hard as you can to get as close as you can or even winning it. So I think 4-3, I think their ability to adapt may give them the edge, and that's my prediction.
You know, I feel like we had there was a similar conversation on the podcast last season about all the finals, and then all the finals ended up being like 4-1 or worse. Wasn't the closest one a 4-1?
Let's be real. Let's be real. Last season's finals, most of them were pretty one-sided at the start.
They
Like,
were not as close as this season's
They
finals.
were, pretty much across the board. They are not better than this season, opinion. So,
I would agree. I'm hoping
yeah.
for closer games than last season.
Right, because last season's finals were just, no offense to the opponents last season. No, it wasn't happening.
This
So-
is something we've been saying all season, though. Is in all tiers, the top 4 teams were really close. There's not one team that really stands out, except Trans tier with Alpha. But I think GDH does have a really good chance at that. But like, all 4 teams in all of the tiers, the top 4 teams, I feel like are a lot closer this season than they really have been in some of the past ones.
And for what it's worth, we've seen Rem not just drop maps this season. We've seen them drop matches.
Games.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not like we're talking about Rem like some incredible powerhouse that is just unbeatable, because they aren't unbeatable. They have clear, glaring LCS weaknesses. And it is I'm just kidding.
We call it the Chilean problem.
Yeah, the Chilean problem is real. No, but in all seriousness, if you look at this, I think Rem is the favorite, and arguing against that is silly. Paradise Lost is a team that just doesn't. Paradise Lost is the wrong word for them, because they barely ever lose. They won so many tournaments in their pedigree. It's crazy. This team, this org is fantastic. That said, I still give the edge to Rem. But for me, it's not a crazy. I think it's going to be better than people think. I think Rem is the clear favorite, but I think if we put the teams against each other 4 out of 5 times, I think Rem beats them around like a 4-2, 4-1. But it doesn't mean that Paradise Lost can't win this game. It is certainly within their grasp, and for me, Rem cannot rest on the theory that they just beat this team and they just beat them bad. If they do that, they come out slow against a team who loves capitalizing on chaos, bad positioning, bad rotations, bad decision making. They will pay the price, and they're probably not going to want to, probably not going to enjoy it too much. But I think 4-2 Rem final score.
I think, like, to go off what Delphi said, like, this season, I feel like a lot more teams focused more on building like competitors, and so like the top is much closer. Unlike last season, where like each tier had like 1 to 2 like super good teams, and everyone else was just frankly not good.
Was not.
Yeah. Well, I would argue like this season, like I think the talent pool I think teams overall are actually worse this season, because the talent pool is more concentrated in 4 to 4, like about 4 teams. And so like the top is better, but I think our tournament as a whole, competition has kind of gone down, in my opinion, based on playing and coaching.
I don't agree with that, but I understand where you're coming from. But we're not going to ramble on, because I could ramble on about season 7 really for hours, and I might do that in an upcoming stream of my own, but we'll talk about that later. But nonetheless, season 7 has been a fantastic season, guys, and we're really excited for these grand finals. Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is this grand finals of the Discord tier. And as a reminder, Wednesday is the Discord or Transcendence tier finals. That's Alpha versus GDH. And then Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern, that's tomorrow on this very Twitch channel, it's the Harmony tier finals. The Koala Kings taking on the Flashbacks. Guys, it's going to be amazing. This fantastic season we have has culminated in this week, and I know I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all are. Yes, sir.
Good luck to Nostalgia to join Marsupial and winning 2 out of 3. Good luck. 2 out of 3.
Navino had to get one more comment in. Good luck to all the teams in this one. It's going to be a great week of Overwatch. And again, we have our giveaway. I know a lot of you guys were sitting around for that giveaway. Reminder, next week we will be giving away one more $100 Amazon gift card as well as a t-shirt. And we'll also be doing our Season 8 info drop on next week's Iris podcast. And we'll start off with the $100 Amazon gift card. And can I get a random number generator, please?
4.
That's
Oh, not for me. Oh, okay.
oh god. damn it.
Between what?
No beep boop boops from anybody, but that's okay. The winner of the $100 Amazon gift card is Bowsy, winning a $100 Amazon gift card. He's a young college boy. He needs his. We all know that's gonna get well used.
Yeah, all on
Common
Trank merch.
Bowsy W.
All on Trank merch.
All on Trank.
All on
Which
Trank
you can
merch.
get at.
Which you can, hey, you know what? If you want Trank merch, like I'm not wearing because it's really cold in my basement right now, so I need sleeves. You can find that at shop.spreadshirt.com/Overwatch Tranquility !store in the chat. And finally, your t-shirt giveaway. Speaking of Tranquility gear, your t-shirt giveaway this week goes to YB, taking the t-shirt. That's YB taking a Tranquility shirt from the store of their choice. So enjoy, YB. And again, last chance to get giveaway entries for next week. Tune in for the finals. You're not going to want to miss anything, guys. But thank you very much for tuning in tonight. It is Grand Finals week, and we are thrilled to have you here for the culmination of Season 7. For Nagi, Delphi, and Navino, and Shrain, I'm Mr. Yeti. Thank you for gazing into the iris with us tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Experience tranquility. Pass into the iris.